Hi everyone, and welcome to CTUC's Bats and Brews 2021. We're really sorry we couldn't be with you in person this year, but we hope you'll enjoy the awesome beer bags and some of the other special features. And thank you so much for donating and continuing to support CTUC's important work. So tonight, I wanted to bring you all on a little virtual bat walk. It's really neat to just kind of see what types of bat species are around your neighborhood and what might be kind of flying around dusk. CTUC also recognizes the importance of bats in our local environment and their role in the local ecosystem because of things like helping to moderate our insect population. So those pesky mosquitoes or harmful insects that might be bad for agriculture. Also, Long Island is a really unique habitat for bats. Because of its kind of moderating coastal climate, it may act as kind of a refuge from a really harmful disease called white nose syndrome. So we really want to help protect and preserve the bat species we have on Long Island and also help kind of expand the habitat that they're able to use. So with that said, let's try to go on a little bat walk. So what I'm using here is an Echometer Touch 2 Pro. Basically, it records bat calls. You could wait here a couple seconds, see if we get anything. It records bat calls in a way that you can hear them. So obviously bats use echolocation to kind of move around. So basically they'll send out sound waves into the local environment, and once those sound waves bounce back, it'll kind of provide a map of the local environment and tell them where things are, where insects are when they're hunting. It's basically how they use their sound at night to navigate. All right, well, let's just see. Let's walk a little. Now, anyone can really do a bat walk around your neighborhood. You don't necessarily need this type of equipment. All you really need to do is walk around, kind of around dusk, so a little bit after sunset, and kind of just keep an eye out, whether you're in your front yard, whether you're walking around your neighborhood or in a local park. Keep an eye out to see if you see bats. And then you could just let us know about the bats you see on our app, Bat Map Long Island. So that information is available at ctuc.org. So we're definitely seeing some bugs out, so I'm hoping that we'll get bats. It is a little late in the season. Bats right now might be starting to go into hibernation. Not sure if I just saw one up there, but it didn't record anything. Looking, so we're definitely getting some bugs. So, you know, it's interesting. You would think maybe they'll hang around a little bit to kind of eat the insects, because it's actually interesting. Oh, do we have something? Okay, we might have had just kind of a brief noise there, but it's not quite loud enough to really tell us what it is, unless it's just us kind of walking. All right, let's keep walking a little bit, see if something pops up. It might have been hearing something maybe a little farther out in the distance. Oh, we got one. Okay, so exciting. All right, so we got one. So right now, oh, the machine went away for a second there, but it was telling us that it likely thinks that it's a big brown bat. So they're one of the most common bats you might see around Long Island. So big brown bats, eastern red bats are some of the most popular ones. Some of the other species includes little brown bat, silver-haired bats, hoary bats, tricolor bats, and also the endangered northern long-eared bats. So there's a plethora of species, but two that are pretty much sometimes more common than others. And bats also differ in their use of space, and like I said, kind of their use of habitat as well. So some bats will kind of remain in the tree line. Some like to be more kind of inner forest, some like more edge habitat. Some also like to be on the canopy, versus some like to be kind of deeper in the trees. And also some of the bats we have here are migratory, so they're kind of going from Long Island to different parts of the US during the colder months. And some are residential, so they stick around here. And like I said before, they might be looking to start hibernating. All right, let's walk a little further down. Oh. I'm getting something else there. Ah, see, I got another bat, an eastern wren. So again, two of the more popular species. And it's interesting, this tool does a really good job of kind of giving you an idea of what you're seeing, but sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to really tell what bat species are there. So scientists often have to go back and kind of manually vet the data, or manually look at the different shapes of the calls. So again, that's basically how you tell the different bat species apart, is based on the shapes of their calls. But sometimes that can get a little confusing, because sometimes their calls can take on different shapes, or kind of different proximities close together, depending on the activity that they're doing, or kind of how they're functioning in the environment. Maybe we'll start walking back in the other direction, see if we spot anything else. You can maybe hear that. Very cool, kind of the sound that comes out of here. Kind of sounds like a little squeaking, like almost like bird-like sound, but it's really neat to listen to a bat. So that came up with possibly the silver-haired or the big brown bat. As I mentioned, sometimes it's tough to really identify some of these bats if you don't go back and manually vet it. But it's just really cool to get an idea or a sense that all these bats or all these different species could be right in your neighborhood. And I think that's really cool about Long Island, is a lot of folks don't know that even though we live in kind of this suburban, urban-ish landscape, that there's still bats and they're still around, and it's still really important to protect them and provide good habitat. Oh, it's still buggy. I'm hearing lots of mosquitoes. So there's definitely still food out for them to eat right now. And we did hear it. Looks like a pretty, I think I don't have this set right, but it looks like a relatively flat call. So that time it says it's either a silver-haired or an hoary bat. Could be that same silver-haired we've been seeing or kind of hearing. But there's definitely a little bit of variety in these little woods here. So we're still hearing it a bit, but it's a bit more far off. So the awesome thing about this tool too is it also shows you the recordings, so you can look back at them. All right, let's stop our live mode for a second, and we can look back at the recordings to see what the shapes may look like. All right. So you can see this is pretty neat here. So you can actually see that each of these calls kind of has a different shape. And from that shape, you can kind of begin to tell what bat it might be. Yep, and it was kind of, this was the one where it was telling us that it might be a silver-haired or a big brown bat. All right, well, thank you for joining us on our little bat walk. A little bit late in the season, but still exciting to find a few of our local kind of furry friends roaming the landscape. So it wouldn't obviously be kind of a awesome bat walk or Bats and Brews without your local brew. So to finish our little tour, I'm gonna pop open a local beer here. I have a breakfast at Dubco, a really neat tea saison. With my great Bats and Brews glass. And there'll also be a new one in the bag this year. Look at that. Oh, delicious from Dubco. Well, thanks everyone again for joining us for Bats and Brews 2021. We hope you've enjoyed your kind of beer bag and enjoyed some of the features we're able to give you. And then we'll really hope that we'll be able to see you in person next year for Bats and Brews 2022. All right, have a good night.